Hi, my name is Sanjay, and today we're gonna be going over row, row, row your boat. So today it's gonna be a little bit slower version of row, row, row your boat, but this piece will incorporate the ties that we learned last week. So yeah, let's get into the theory. Okay, so as you saw in the computer, it's a slower version of row, row, row your boat. So now let's see the time signature. So the time signature is 3/4. That means there's gonna be 3 beats per measure, and quarter note gets the beat, half note gets 2 beats, whole note gets 4 beats. Now the left hand, there won't be any places in the song where both hands are gonna be playing at the same time, but it's gonna be alternating like the songs that we usually play. So it's going to be left hand first, then right hand, then left hand. Now, let's look at identifying the notes. So for measure 1, we have a dotted half note, and this is on left hand. This is on bass clef, so that means we're going to be playing left hand. So no right hand, as you can see, you're resting, and we only have left hand playing dotted half note, and it's going to be a G because it's on the G space, as you can see here. So this is a G, and it's going to be held after 3 beats because a dotted half note is 3 beats. Remember, because the dot adds on to that note, which is half of that note's beat, so 3 beats. So that it would go like G, 2, 3. Same thing here. It's the same exact note, and it's on the same exact G space. So it's a G, and it's a dotted half note. So 3 beats, you're going to hold that. It's still left hand playing, no right hand, as you can see here. And it's going to be another G, but this time it's going to be a half note. And then to make it 3 beats per measure, we're going to have a quarter note in the same measure. It's going to be a half note and a quarter note in the measure because that will be 3 beats. So the half note is G because it's on the G space. And the quarter note is A because it's on the A line, as you can see here. So next, right hand still resting, left hand still playing. This is going to be a dotted half note. As you can see that there's a dot next to this half note, which means it's going to be 3 beats. And the note, it's going to be a B because this is the A line, and above A on the keyboard is B. So this note is B. So for the 5th measure, there is going to be a half note and a quarter note, just like measure 3 here. And it's going to be B and A. B is going to be the half note because the note is above the A line, which means it's note B. And the quarter note is going to be A because it's on the A line. Next, we have left hand. Right hand is still not playing. And we have a half note and a quarter note. And the half note is B, as you can see here, because it's above the A line. And the quarter note is C because it's above this note, which is a B, and the note above B is C. So this quarter note is a C. Now we finally get to the right hand. So the left hand stops playing now, as you can see that the left hand is resting and the right hand is playing. Now we see the ties from last week that we went over. It's tying a same note beat. It's tying the same note, different pitch. It's the same pitch, and it's tying dotted half notes. And the dotted half notes value is the dotted note's identity is a D. So this is a D, and this is another D, but it's gonna be like one note, and this is 2 measures because we can't fit 2 dotted half notes in a 3/4 measure because one dotted half note is 3, so you can only fit one. So you have to tie another dotted half note to the next measure. So this will be 6 beats in total. 6 beats in total. So once you strike this D, you're going to want to play D, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not D, 2, 3, D, 2, 3. You want D, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you want to treat it as one note since it's tied, as we went over last week. So now for the 9th measure, we have right hand. Now this is when it goes merrily, merrily. Now we have 3 chord notes. They're all G's because they're on the G line. So it's going to be G, G, G. And for the next measure, still on right hand, no left hand, it's going to be D, 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 and all quarter notes, because you can see that it's D because it's under the E line, and under D is E. Under E is D. So now if we alternate back to the left hand, no right hand's playing now. It's going to be B, 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 and all of these B's are going to be quarter notes, as you can see. And we can tell that it's B because it's above the A line. Now, for the next measure, it's going to be a dotted half note, which is 3 beats, no right hand, and it's going to be another G because it's on the G space. Now, for measure 13, right here, we have a half note and a quarter note. The half note's going to be a D because it's below the E line, and the quarter note's going to be a C because it's below D. Now, for the next measure, we have another half note and quarter note. And this is going to be played by the left hand. We're alternating back to left hand, no more right hand for the rest of the piece. And this is going to be a B, and this is going to be A. So the half note, which is B, we can see that it's a B because it's above the A line. Now, we can see that this quarter note is an A because it's on the A line. So that is for that measure. Now for the last 2 measures, we have a dotted half note, but they're tied. There's 2 dotted half notes. So that means it's basically one note, but it's tied to 2 measures. So this is going to be G because it's on the G space, and this is a G because it's on the G space. But you have to treat it as one note. So it's going to be G, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it's going to be 6 beats in total. So it's basically one note. Don't hold it for G, 2, 3, G, 2, 3. Hold it for G, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that is going to be the theory for row, row, row your boat. Okay, so before we do anything, we're going to just position our hands into where we want to go. So we want our left hand thumb on C, right hand thumb on C, left hand second finger on B below middle C, right hand second finger on D above middle C, left hand third finger on A below middle C, right hand third finger on E above middle C, left hand fourth finger on G below middle C, right hand fourth finger on F above middle C, left hand pinky on F below middle C, and right hand pinky on G above middle C. So middle C is right here under these 2 black keys. So now we have our hands positioned. Let's play. So for our first measure, we have a dotted half note, which is worth 3 beats, and we have a G. So that means we're going to be playing our 4th finger on our left hand, and it starts off on left hand. So 1, 2, 3. And then the next measure, it's the same exact thing. 1, 2, 3. Now for the third measure, we have a half note and a quarter note. The half note's going to be a G, and the quarter note's going to be A. And they're both played on the left hand. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3. So G, A. So G, A. And then for the fourth measure, it's going to be B, and it's going to be a dotted half note. So that's 3 beats holding B. 1, 2, 3. Now for the fifth measure, we're gonna have B, A, and B is gonna be a half note, and A is gonna be a quarter note. So it's gonna be B to A. So B to A. And then for the sixth measure, we have B, C. B is again a half note, and C is a quarter note. So B to C. So 1, 2, 3. And then we alternate to our right hand, and it's going to be a D. And this D is going to be played with our second finger, and it's a tie note, and they're two dotted half notes tied. So it's going to be 6 beats in total. It's basically going to be like one note. So we're going to hold D for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, since it's 2 dotted half notes tied together. Now for measure 9, we're gonna have G, G, G on right hand, quarter notes. All 3 of the notes are quarter notes, and that's gonna be played by our pinky. So G, G, G. Next measure, we're gonna go D, D, D on our right hand, played by our second finger, and it's gonna be all 3 quarter notes again. So D, D, D. Now alternate to left hand, and it's gonna be B, played by our second finger on left hand, and it's gonna be 3 quarter notes again. So B, B, B. And then for the 12th measure, we're gonna have G on our left hand, so 4th finger on our left hand, and it's gonna be a dotted half note, so 3 beats. Hold G for 3 beats. So 1, 2, 3. Now we're gonna go back to our right hand, and it's gonna be D, C. D played with our second, C played with our thumb. So D is gonna be a half note, and C is gonna be a quarter note. So 1, 2, 3. So D, 2, 3. Now for the next measure, the 14th measure, it's gonna be a B, A, and B is gonna be a half note, and A is gonna be a quarter note. So B for 2 beats, A for 1 beat. So B, 2, A, 1, 2, A, 1, 2, 3. Now for the last 2 measures, it's gonna be tied dotted half notes. So that means 6 beats in total. So you're gonna treat it like one note, and it's gonna be G. So hold G for 6 beats on your left hand, and that's gonna be it. So G, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now we're gonna play the whole song in total. Okay, now I'm gonna play the whole song slowly for you guys, and you guys should play along as well. So, and I'm gonna be calling out the switches between hands too. So, start off with left hand, 4th finger on G, dotted half note. Switch to right hand, D, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Switch to left hand. Switch to right hand. Switch to left hand. And then switch to left hand, stay on left hand, and then tie notes, 6 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that is row, row, row your boat. Okay, so that will be it for today's lesson. Next week we're going to be going over a new theory concept, and it's eighth notes. So yeah, that will be it for this week. Bye.